Quote number 5. Great companies don't hire skilled people and motivate them. They hired already motivated people and inspire them. An ideal candidate is someone with an excellent attitude and a broad skill set. But in reality, you don't always find these people, and you have to choose between skills and attitude. And that is where most companies get it wrong. They go for the skill.
I'll share an example with you that freaks me out every time I talk about it. What's our most valuable possession on the planet? Our children, right? Our most valuable possession on the planet are our children. So let's game out a scenario. Let's imagine we want to go on a date, so we require a babysitter. We have 2 options. Option number 1, there's a 16-year-old from just down the street from within the community with barely, if any, babysitting experience. There's a 32-year-old who just moved into the neighborhood, we don't know from where, but she's got 10 years of babysitting experience. Who do we choose? The 16-year-old. Think about that for a second. We'd rather trust our children, our most valuable possession on the planet, with somebody from within our community with no experience over somebody with vast amounts of experience, but we have no idea where they're from or what they believe. Then why do we do it differently at work? Why are we so preoccupied with someone's resume and where they've worked and what they've done for our competition, and yet we never think to consider what they believe, where they're from? How can we trust them? How can they trust us? The problem with most organizations, believe it or not, whether it's a community or a culture. What's a community? What's a culture? It's a group of people with a common set of values and beliefs, right? What's a nation? It's a group of people with a common set of values and beliefs. And the single biggest challenge that any culture or any organization will ever face is its own success. When an organization is founded, all organizations are founded on the same basic principles. There's some sort of measurement. It's often money, but it can be anything. And then there's time. And when an organization is founded, what they do and why they do it are inextricably linked. There are usually some founder or some small group of founders that are able to put their vision into words, and their passion inspires others to come and join them in pursuit of something greater than all of themselves. And they trust their guts and off they go, and it's an amazing experience. The problem is, as they grow, as what they do becomes more successful, they can no longer rely on themselves. They have to now hire somebody who hires somebody who hires somebody who hires somebody who hires somebody who has to make a decision. Based on what? And what they do starts to grow, that metric. The problem is, why they do it starts to go fuzzy. And this is the biggest single challenge any organization will face. It's this thing right here, the thing that I call the split.
A quote from Jonathan Henrik says, "A leader realizes a skill is what you can teach, but attitude won't change." In reality, a positive attitude and the right culture fit are much harder to find. Those are the people you want on your team.
The very survival of the human race depends on our ability to surround ourselves with people who believe what we believe. When we're surrounded by people who believe what we believe, something remarkable happens. Trust emerges. Make no mistake of it, trust is a feeling, a distinctly human experience. Simply doing everything that you promise you're going to do does not mean people will trust you. It just means you're reliable. And we all have friends who are total screw-ups, and yet we still trust them. Trust comes from a sense of common values and beliefs. And the reason trust is important is because when we are surrounded with people who believe what we believe, we're more confident to take risks. We're more confident to experiment, which requires failure, by the way. We're more confident to go off and explore, knowing that there is someone from within our community, someone who believes what we believe, someone we trust and who trusts us, will watch our back, help us when we fall over, and watch our stuff and look after our children while we're gone. Our very survival depends on our ability to surround ourselves with people who believe what we believe.